Welcome back to Camp Out West and another episode as we transform our abandoned caravan park into our dream home and guest campsite.
So now that we've got the electric sorted in the cabin, the next part is to sort the water out. So we're going to be getting the plumbers back soon to do the boiler, and that boiler for our hot water and our central heating is going to be running off LPG gas, so the big red propane bottles. And we've been told by the plumbers that they need to be on a piece of concrete or something substantial. So we're going to be building a little slab off of the main slab of the cabin for where they're going to go. So we're going to use a digger now to basically scrape that bit of land, get some of the soil out of the way so we can get some sub base down and then make ourselves a little concrete slab. First job was using a digger bucket to scrape the surface of the ground, removing all the grass and making it as level as possible. We had to dig down a few inches so we could match the thickness of the main slab. Even though we only excavated a small area, we were surprised how much spoil there was to take away. Yesterday when we had the digger out, we took some of the soil away here so we can start prepping to add to the slab. So we're going to be extending off the slab pretty much out to here, and that's going to give us enough space for the gas bottles for us to be able to unhook them and sort of roll them out, because the gas bottles we're actually using are going to be the 47 kilo ones, which are, you know, up here and pretty heavy, so we're not going to be able to lift them like these, so we need enough space to roll them off. So the first thing we need to do is maybe take a little bit more out with a shovel, put a bit of teram or like a geotextile in, and then we're going to get the sub base in to match the sub base of the existing slab, and then we just need to make a wooden frame then, and we can start making our concrete. First I cut away and removed the old wooden frame from our previous slab. Then I cut up some leftover 4x1 wood to make the frame for our new slab. This is what we'll be pouring our concrete into. Sides cut, it was time to attach it together and put it in place. We spent some time getting it level and then put some membrane down before putting in some sub base so our concrete wasn't just sat on the soil. So the last time that we tried making our own concrete, it didn't go too well. So that was our first attempt for doing our shower block base. So we're going to try again today. The one thing that we learned from all the comments and stuff from that, and from a builder that gave us advice, was instead of using a shovel to measure your amounts, to use a bucket. So we got recommended to use small buckets. We couldn't find any smaller ones. So what I'm going to do, these 12-litre buckets, I'm just going to mark a line on halfway and use these as like half measures. So they're a bit lighter for us to chuck in the machine. So we're going to do 4 half buckets of ballast to 1 half bucket of cement, and that should give us a strong concrete. So fingers crossed we do it right this time. I marked the line in all the buckets and we're ready to start our mix. We spread out the concrete as best as we could with a trowel and then screeded it with a straight bit of timber. And then it was time to call it a night and leave it to work its magic.
Morning, so we're having a bit of a late start today. I ran my first half marathon on the weekend. A lot of you will know that I'm currently training for the London Marathon next April, and this was the longest run I've done so far in my training block. I only started running 4 months ago, and at the start I couldn't even run 3 miles, so the fact that I ran 13 yesterday is just wild. Got my medal on. Yeah, got my medal on. There was 26,000 of us doing the race and a few more thousand watching, and the atmosphere was just incredible. We knew it was going to be so chaotic afterwards, so I actually packed some Huel to have in the car after the run so I could refuel straight away. And I just want to say a massive thank you to Huel for supporting my marathon training and for sponsoring today's video. If you're new to Huel, they're a nutrition brand that make complete and balanced meal solutions. From high protein complete meals, ready to drink bottles, hot and savoury meals and bars, specially designed to keep you fueled when life or training gets busy. I love their Black Edition powders. It's their highest protein option with over 40 grams and 26 vitamins and minerals. Yesterday I burnt over 2,600 calories during my run, which is just madness. So having this straight away was really good for my recovery, because by the time we'd queued up and were stuck in traffic after the event, 2 hours had passed. So just having this to hand was a lifesaver. I've been using Huel a lot throughout my marathon training, as it allows me to stay on top of my nutrition without having to worry about hitting my protein goals. So if you'd like to give Huel a try and see what they have to offer, just head to the link in our description and you can get £10 off your first order over £60 with our code CampoutwestPR10. Thanks again to Huel for sponsoring today's video and supporting my marathon journey. Now we're going to get ready for the day.
So the last time you saw our little slab extension for our gas bottles, we were screeding it with our piece of wood. Well, the weather turned really bad on us that evening, and we've had 2 days now of a storm with constant rain, so we've chucked these old sheets over the top. So this is us uncovering it for the first time, and we were scared that the too much water on top of it, as well as our mix being really wet, was going to compromise it. So I checked it the morning after, but this is 2 days now, so I'm hoping we can leave it. Yeah, it looks good. Have a bit of sunlight now. It's been in the dark for 2 days. So that's our little slab. Looks right there. It's weird, there's like a little bit of sand on the top. Do you reckon that's just because it was wet and the wet was like lifting the sand maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah, that looks good, doesn't it? Now the slab was done, we're ready to unload our gas bottles that will be fueling the cabin. So these are the gas bottles we're going to be using for our heating system in the cabin. So if you didn't know, in the UK, to go and buy LPG gas, you either need to buy the actual bottle from them, which I think they charge £70 per empty bottle before you can get the refill of gas, or you can take your own if you've got one. So we actually went on Facebook Marketplace and found some second hand. So we managed to buy 2 empty ones of these for £30. So that saved us £110. And then to swap these over then, to have them full, I think they were £180, which sounds like a lot, but we've been using LPG gas for running our outside shower for 3 years now, and we haven't even used the equivalent of one of these big bottles of gas. So we're excited to see how long they last in the cabin. A lot of people were surprised, and they wrote to us in the comments in the last video that we were using LPG gas. So they offered us a lot of suggestions for sort of heating methods that ran off electric. So air source heat pumps, mini splits, which is a form of air conditioning that does hot and cold, which seemed really cool. We looked into that vaguely, but the pricing of it is kind of out of our budget for the install. Some people mentioned that there are grants for air source heat pumps and things in the UK. Obviously this isn't like a typical house, so we're not eligible for anything like that. So like in the UK, most people run their houses off mains gas, and if you're like us somewhere rural, there isn't mains gas here. So most people in our area are running off heating oil, so kerosene. We definitely didn't want to have a kerosene system because that again is really expensive for the initial install, and I think the running cost for servicing is a lot more. So that's why we decided on the LPG gas. That's kind of the standard as well for caravans. So what this is a residential caravan, so we thought that would suit it well, because that gives us our hot water for our showering and hand washing, which is the primary sort of reason for this boiler. We've got the radiators and the central heating, but that's essentially kind of like a box ticking exercise. For this to be a residential caravan, it has to have central heating. So even though we've got the log burner, which will be our actual main source of heat, we have got the central heating to tick that box. And obviously if the cabin's not being used in cold weather, that will keep the cabin from freezing. So that's why we've gone with LPG gas, and yeah, we're excited to see how it works. Next we've got the bottle locker. The lorry could only deliver it to the top of the drive, so we have to drag it down with the help of a strap. this is our storage locker for the gas bottles. We've got our plumbers coming in a couple of days, so we thought we'd get this in place ready. So this is where the gas bottles are going to be staying. We looked into loads of different options for this type of thing because it has to be something secure that the bottles can't fall out of and sort of rip themselves off the gas pipes. So this is purpose made for storing gas bottles. It's got ventilation all around, so if there's any leaks or anything, it all dissipates. But obviously we don't like the colour because our colour theme obviously is black. It seems everything in the sort of caravan or leisure industry is white, beige or green. So whichever option we went for, we were going to need to paint it. So one thing that we're going to be doing before the guys come next week to install the boiler is we're going to paint it. And we've realised that painting galvanised metal actually isn't as easy as we thought. So we've ordered a couple of chemicals to actually etch the surface of this before we can refinish it to sort of match the cabin a bit more. First I use some degreaser on the bottle locker to clean off any oil. Then I use the step-up drill bit to remove the hinges to make it easier to paint. Then I was ready to apply the mordant solution. This is what will react with the zinc surface of the galvanising and create an etched surface that we can paint onto. It was pretty cool as I could see it reacting pretty much instantly, turning black, which meant it was working. So this is what it looks like now that we've applied the mordant solution. So the mordant solution, the T-wash, was a chemical that we put on, and you can see it's reacted with the surface. So this means now we can go and put paints on here and it's not going to react. The paint won't react with the zinc coating of the galv. So the other thing I read was we can't use oil-based paints with a galvanized finish. So I've bought a Zinza Bullseye 123, which is a exterior primer, water-based. So that's what I'm going to be putting on next. It's a grey colour as well, because our top coat is going to be black. So hopefully it'll help it take the colour a bit easier. Okay, so that's 2 coats of our primer paint and it seems to be sticking. So hopefully our chemical wash, the T-wash, has worked and sort of neutralised the surface. So the plumbers are actually coming tomorrow. So we're going to wait until tomorrow to paint this because they're going to be drilling some holes in the back because the actual changeover valve gets mounted into this locker. So we're excited for them to come, and that's what's going to be in the next video. They got delayed last week, which actually worked in our favour because we had a few of the jobs that you've seen to get done before they arrived. So excited now. In the next video you'll see us having, we wouldn't see us having a shower, but you'll see us with a hot water, a shower and a flushing toilet. So yeah, really excited for the plumbers to get here to do that. So if you're wondering where our site manager is today, she's hurt one of her paws jumping out of the cabin. So she's been not too happy. So she's all bandaged up and she's in the office looking a bit sorry for herself. I'm sure we'll show that on the screen now. So hopefully in the next video you'll see Maggie back out here running in the field. But that's the end of today's video and we'll see you next time.